Oh boy, you guys already know how I feel about this game, but I'm using this as an excuse to take this game out to the parking lot and beat the crap out of it. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is what happens when you realize you just fired your dream team, but you still need money through the property they made. Synopsis on this, which is now I believe the third time I have talked about the context of Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. Interplay got greedy and decided to fire all of Black Isle Studios so that they can save a buck. However, they realized they were all the people involved with making Fallout, and they need a Fallout game because they're not doing so good. What finally happens? Interplay decides to both develop and publish a game called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, and it is god-awful. You can tell the people working on this game had no idea what they were doing, especially compared to the Fallout RPGs, and it's even an overt reskin of another game that they made about Baldur's Gate. Alright, that's the third time we did that, like I said. Plot. 5 out of 10. This game takes massive liberties with the source material they're doing, and really seems to just use it as a vague suggestion. There's really not much going on that actually makes sense in the context of the Fallout universe. World building, as my voice gets increasingly hoarse. 3 out of 10. It's, again, just purely misappropriating source material, to the point of where it's kind of insulting. Like, I don't need to see Paladin Rhombus and Harold the Ghoul here. And if anything, I'd rather you just make a bunch of fresh new characters. It's nice that you're a self-insert so you're not too heavily doing stuff. But again, this game, it just kind of feels like bad fan fiction. That's the best way I can describe it, is that this game is bad fan fiction in the Fallout universe, to the point of where both Bethesda and Interplay have came out and decided that Brotherhood of Steel and its predecessor Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel are non-canon and should be completely ignored in the Fallout continuity. And they deserve that, because aside from helping Ruby, the wasteland prostitute, find her dead cat, there is not much going on here. But how does the game look and sound? Terrible. This game gets a 2 out of 10 I wrote here. For its graphics. It looks muddy, it looks crappy, it's muddled, it's ugly. Ugh, it's just, again, it's brown. All this is just browns and grays, browns and grays. That is like the sin of early 2000s gaming and even 2010, browns and grays all around. Aesthetic, 4 out of 10. It has some of the original stuff that made the Fallout universe great, but other than that, this looks pretty generic sci-fi, like the post-apocalyptic flavor. And I bet you could get away with calling a lot of this stuff like another game if you didn't know it was Fallout. Like, you take out the Vault Boy and reference the caps, and you got yourself a different game, which might have been a better idea, because this game isn't visually striking in any way. Sound design. We went over this in the previous video. It's a who's who of who didn't get invited to the second stage on Ozfest. And the voice acting is okay, but nothing to write home about. So it gets a 3 out of 10. So how about the gameplay? Well, it's easy enough to understand. It's just really hard to do. You need to lock on if you're going to hit anything, and melee, while being the most effective way to do damage, is a waste of time because you keep on being just out of range, so you gotta crawl up to them, hit them again, but now you're out of range because there's knockback. And you keep on doing that all the while everyone can shoot you. By the way, you can't shoot people off the screen, but people off the screen can shoot you. As far as player character handling and menu navigation, it gets a 4 out of 10 because of the perfectly top-down angle, not isometric, but straight up, like 90 degrees, top down. It's very hard to see like how far you're gonna jump or how high certain obstacles are. So of course there's gotta be platforming, have fun with that, and all the menus feel sluggish. Like, I know this is a console game, but still the menus are super sluggish, and sometimes I feel like I'm pressing multiple times to get anything to work in this stupid thing. As far as diversity of gameplay, straight up 0 out of 10. Why? Because you're pretty much going to be using the same weapons anyway, and all the weapon upgrades are just slightly better versions of the previous weapons you had. You're going to be shooting, running around in circles, and eventually at certain parts of the game, killing a couple people, and then like taking a 15-minute break for your HP to regenerate because there's no like space between you and all the enemies for you to like sneak by, and oh god, just why would you have enemies spawn behind you if you're going to have them wipe out your HP that bad and then no way to get back? You're just going to hear the same god-awful 3 or 4 chords of new metal, and that's about it. It's unfun. It is entirely unfun. and I'm just gonna blaze through optimization here because I want to be done with this video as much as you do. 6 out of 10 for optimization. It's a console game, so it boots as fast as the PlayStation lets it. Levels, all that stuff, it loads as fast as that little PlayStation can spin its disc. Stability, 5 out of 10, because even though it's designed for a console where the parameters of what you're going to use are clear, this game chugs. This game will frame drop when things get intense, even with certain things that are game breaking, like how certain explosives will not detonate off screen, so you will often walk into a giant explosion cluster that kills you. The game still chugs in spite of that. And this leaves the final score as 35 out of 100. I am done with this game. I have talked about it. I have critiqued it and scored it. It's over. Sign-offs are stupid and I don't know how to do them. Bye. So we had another prison riot. I'm gonna sit in my chair for this, because I'm pretty pooped out after your shenanigans. So, my parents, they knew that Frisk was a very big boy, so they gave us a new carrier for him that used to be my old cat's carriers, but it is not airline approved, so they cannot use it, because they're moving too. This boy, I'll open this. I know you like to sit in it. I'm not going to shove you in it. He made not 1, but 2 escape attempts today. The first one was as I was trying to get him from the carrier to his little bungalow at the animal hospital. He figured out that if he rapidly shifted his weight, like if he jumped from the back to the front of the carrier, it would come apart. And I feel so bad. One of the doctors at my wife's work was like on the phone with another, like, I guess, client. And suddenly he just hears me screaming and swearing like a sailor because somebody tried to make a break for it. This is because we had to get the carpet cleaned, because that is a stipulation of keeping our deposit for this apartment. Afterwards, I finally got him back. Come here, you. Daddy's not going to shove you in the box again. And he tried to make a break for it again. He jumped off my shoulder, gave me a little nick right here that I don't know if the camera will focus on. There it is. Little nick. It used to be longer, but it's already healing up. And he made a break for it. He tried to climb up the cages. Subsequently, I have reinforced the kitty carrier. And even after that, I carried it, rather than by this handle, I carried it by the bottom, which was not as smooth of a ride. But somebody is a little escape artist. And it looked like he was only in there for a few hours while the guys cleaned the carpet. But he looked like he had not moved from his little spot in the corner since we left. Like, we put a little blanket on top of the awning to give him a little hidey hole. But I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm kind of embarrassed with how you acted. Come here. I want to pay you. Are you about to go back in? You were hanging out in this earlier today. You liked it. I thought you were happy that I got you a bigger carrier, but I guess that is not the case. Oh, there's boxes, though. I gotta get more boxes, but I think we're okay for now. Frisk, do you have anything to say for yourself? Anything to say? I love you too, saucy boy.